Hey folks, welcome to iHeart Board Games, where today we're bringing you a top 10 of our top 10 designers and board gamers. And board gaming.
Board game designers, you might say.
Yeah. I have some honorable mentions though before we get into it. I'm Jesse. That's Ronald.
Hi.
So my first honorable mention, Dr. Reiner.
Mine is also Reiner.
Well, there we go. Also an honorable mention. Yeah, you can't ignore Reiner Knizia. I think that's how his name is said.
Yeah. Lost Cities, Malem.
He has over 600 designs.
My City, Llama, Quest for El Dorado, Tigers and I don't like Tigers and Euphrates or Yellow and Yangtze, but yeah, he was involved.
I like Ra. That's one of his. Malem is one of his from this year.
Yes, I said that. Yeah.
I'm just naming my favorites.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, Malem is one of his. My City, which is in My Island, which I haven't gotten to, but those are legacy games of his.
When you have that many, it's going to be tough that you're not going to like some of them.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I like 8 of his 600 games, so he's one of my... I mean, I never even played most of them, so...
Yeah, probably Quest for El Dorado is one of my top ones. But yeah, he's... But Malem took me for a surprise, because that's not something he normally puts out.
Yep.
So I was happy to see that.
I wonder if he's the one that came up with that theme, or someone in the publishing house.
The cats.
Cats in space.
We need a cat game. Cat games sell.
But also cats in space. Like
Cats in space, yeah.
It's very specific.
Or maybe he knows. He just knows cat games sell. He made a llama game, a couple of years back.
I mean, that game really doesn't have anything to do with llamas.
No, but that's the point, isn't it? Does that game have anything to do with cats? Not really.
Not really, no. In fact, it could literally have just been people.
But yeah, that's our first honorable mention.
Okay, I'll do one. Yeah. My next honorable mention is named Paul Denon. You know who that is?
Yes, I do.
He's part of the design team for Dune Imperium.
Yes.
In fact, I don't like Dune Imperium, but the reason he's on this list is because he designed all the Clanks.
Yep.
And I love Clank. I love the whole Clank franchise.
Well, he's on my list later.
Okay, well, we'll talk about him.
We're going to have a lot of crossover, I think, and there's going to be a lot of that we'll talk about later. I just think that's going to be part of it.
Yeah.
There's not a big pool of designers yet.
There is. It's just so many people made one game that I never played.
Yeah. And something you may notice from my list is not something I intended, but it's a lot of men. I'm not proud of that. It's just, this is a very men-dominated.
Male-dominated field, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's not only men out there, but...
Right. I specifically, when making this list, typed in female designers, board game designers, and it gave me a list of people mostly I had never heard of. Right. And when I looked it up, their games, they were mostly, unfortunately, games I had never heard of. I mean, I have at least one exception, but yeah, most of these are going to be dudes.
So I didn't want to just put in women's names to feel inclusive but dishonest,
Sure, I was hoping I would find one that I'm like, oh, she made that?
Yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah. And there are a lot of women designers. I love their games. It's just, it didn't show up on my list. It just didn't click on my radar. But Inca and Marcus Brand is my next honorable mention.
Okay.
Because they've made the Exit games. They made a game we play every game day. It's Word Slam. It's one of our favorites. And we're currently going through The Rise of Queensdale, which is one of theirs.
You can watch the videos here on this channel.
But another one I really like of theirs is Village.
Oh, yeah.
So this is one that was on my cull list for a while just because I was like, we never play it. Let's just put in the cull list, see if it sells. It didn't sell. I think because they made a new version of it, like a really fancy version with all the expansions. And I was like, let's just get the old copy out and play it again. And I played it and I'm like, this is a really good game. I'm glad I didn't sell it.
Is that the one with the dead bodies?
You have the families, generations of families, and like the older ones die out.
It's like a pauper's burial. Or
right, and you bury them at the cemetery, and that kind of, once one of those fills up, it's over.
Yeah. I like their designs too. I love the Exit games.
Yeah. So that's my honorable mention.
I have one more honorable mention. This person's name is Lorenzo Silva.
Mm-hmm. That's he made. Well, we want you to go ahead and tell me what he made.
King's Dilemma, Potion Explosion, the Railroad Ink games, Dragon Castle, and in fact, most of the time, this person works with another designer whose name I did write down. Hjalmar Hawk.
All right. I'm not
sure how it's said, but that person was a solo designer on photosynthesis, so I did not include them.
Oh, just photosynthesis?
As far as I could see, that was the only thing they designed by themselves. Oh man, I really do not know how to use this app. I now can no longer
Yeah, I'm trying to use the app to bring up the names at the same time.
Okay, now I'm back. Okay, that's my last. Did you have any more?
I want to mention, I got one more. It's certainly going to be on your list, so I'm not going to say anything more about it.
Okay, well, I guess we'll talk about him later.
I know for sure that is on your list, so we don't need to worry about that right now. Let's just get into the tops. Who's going to start that off for us?
Why don't I start?
Go for it.
Okay, my number 10 is someone called Benoit Turpin.
Okay.
Do you know this person?
Only by name. I could, if put on the spot, I couldn't name something, but I see it now as I bring it up.
Yep, they designed all of the Welcome to games. So regular Welcome to Las Vegas, Welcome to the Moon, all the Welcome tos, and they also designed Number Drop.
Yeah, which played.
Is a BGA game that we quite like. It's a little roll and write. So I had to include him because I really do like those Welcome to games, and obviously he's French, so why would I not love that?
You just had a BGA game come out called Umbrella. It's actually a 2024 release as far as board games go. And I didn't know this, but I was clicking around. Oh, I was looking up games by year. I didn't realize it was a collector's edition of Welcome to.
What?
Yeah, it came out last year, apparently. It's got 1.8 thousand ratings, so people know about it. And I clicked on it. It looks really nice. I'm like, this was not on my radar.
I already have so many things for Welcome to. I have a neoprene mat.
I don't have anything.
I have the whiteboards. I have all the different expansion packs of the, the one that's like the Christmas, and there's one for Halloween. There's one that's like a zombie apocalypse. Like I have all of this stuff. Yeah. So I'm not interested in another of the Welcome to.
I came up with a game last year called The Art Project, and the only reason I'm interested in it, I mean, sure, he's got a little bit of pull, but Vincent Dutrait did the art.
You love that guy.
I do. It's a very influential artist for me to decide whether I want to buy a game or not.
Okay. Well, how about you? Who's your number 10?
My number 10 is a very popular designer, Bruno Catala, who's designed many things such as Splendor Duel, Seven Wonders
Salt
Duel,
and Paper,
Five Tribes, Cyclades, King Domino,
Abyss,
Shadows over Camelot, Raptor, Jamaica, Queen Domino, Mr. Jack, Pocket, which I actually really like that game. This person has a long list of games that he's designed. And when I play these games, I usually like them. Now, they're not like hitting my top 10s a lot of times, but they're usually in my top 100s for sure, top 50s even.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I like most of their designs that I've played as well, just not enough to breach the top 10.
Yeah. Me. And I think his specialty is two-player games.
I mean, Seven Wonders Duel is just...
Yeah. Well, I was thinking even Five Tribes. That's a two-player game to me. I think it plays better as a two-player game. And King Domino, I think, plays better as a two-player game when you do the 7x7. Really simple choice. A choice that's been around for a really long time that a lot of people know who the heck that is. My number 10.
I have a feeling my number 9 is not going to be on your list. But my number 9 is Wolfgang Warsch. Or in America,
Nope.
we might say Wolfgang Warsch.
Is that because of the list we did before?
Yeah, so this is the designer of the Quacks of Quedlinburg,
Yeah.
all the Gonchon Clever games, Taverns of Tiefenthal, Wavelength, The Mind. I mean, all of those are good games, what I just named. I
Yeah, of
really
course.
like the Clever games. I like Quacks. I like Wavelength. I think Wavelength's a great little design. So that's why Wolfgang
Wolfgang.
Wolfie is on my list.
Did you say he did the Ganshan Clever Games? Yeah, I made a video about that, about how to do really well at Ganshan's Clever.
Take us back to 2018, Jesse. Tell us about
Well,
it.
that's the thing. It's been so long that I don't remember how to be good at that game.
I haven't played that.
I would have to
since
watch
then.
my video just to figure out, oh, that's how you do it. Because I tried loading it up on my phone. I don't remember how to do it. Like, I don't remember how to do it well. So
Yeah, you guys, that's one of the best performing videos on this channel. So if you want to check it out, it's pretty short. If you want to go back and play some Gonchon Clever from back in the day.
right. Want some tips?
There's now like 4 different versions of that game or something.
Yeah, and I haven't played
Twice as clever.
I played that one just a little bit, but I'm like, give me the OG. My number 9 is someone who's been on this channel. Let's play a clip. The game we're playing today is created by this man over here. Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Steve Finn from Dr. Finn's Games, and this is Cosmic Run Mining Colony.
Anyway, he's made a lot of different games. His latest one, I'm really a big fan of, Cities. I think that's a great game. The Whatnot Cabinet actually has surprised me as a pretty cool game.
I want to play that.
Yeah, that's one we have. All of his games are super light too. They'll play in about 30 minutes. So it's a great designer to get behind if you're looking for something to introduce new players to. And they're all cards, dice, stuff that's really easy to understand for the most part. And one that's at the top of his list as far as popularity is Biblios. And I haven't really played that much.
I used to have Biblios. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Biblios, like, Roll and Write or something. I still haven't played it.
Oh, I haven't either.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
Biblios is a very just like simple design. I liked it. It never got to the table. I think I ended up culling it, but yeah, I like his designs as well. They're usually pretty simple.
Yep. Very, very, very simple games. Steve Finn.
Dr. Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 8. I think so. I've already done 9, so it must be 8.
Then it must be. Yeah, that's right. I'm second. It's on my list.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it later.
All right. Trying to do my typing at the same time. So my number 8 is someone who I've not reviewed. We don't really do reviews on this channel, although I think we should someday.
I mean, this is kind of a review.
In a way, yeah. I guess all top 10s are reviews because we're giving our opinions. This is someone, Tim Eisner.
Oh.
Tim Eisner has a company called Weird City Games. All of his games are made of paper products, like they're all nature themed. He made a game called Leaf. He made a game called Canopy. But outside of that, he's designed for other publishers, Wonderland's War, which, funny enough, I mean, it has an 8.1 on BGG, but is not one of my favorites of his. But Grim Masquerade, Grim Forest.
Okay, you're finally naming something that I've played.
Well, Leaf is one of my favorites of his. That one really stands out. And that one is a Weird City Games game. It came out in 2023. It's actually right behind you. I wonder if it's in the wide. Yeah, it is. It's just over your shoulder.
Hey.
I think he has a long future of making really great games. So I'm really paying attention to everything he's making.
That was Eisner.
Tim Eisner.
Okay, Tim Eisner. Check him out.
Yep.
Number 7 for me. I'd be surprised if this person's on your list, but it's Vlada Chvátil.
It's not.
Okay, Vlada designed Galaxy Trucker, a game that I love. Dungeon Pets, a game that I love. Mage Knight, a game that I liked at the time, but have
I think
since
it still has legs.
outgrown. Okay. And Codenames. I mean,
Yep, evergreen.
yeah. I don't reach for Codenames anymore. I feel like there's other games that I'd prefer to play. I still have it. But I mean, just the name, those 4 games have almost nothing in common with each other. They are all so different. Dungeon Pet is a huge Euro puzzle game.
Bunny Moose Moose.
Galaxy Trucker is a dexterity speed game. Mage Knight is a huge Ameritrash experience, and then Codenames is a party game. Like, what can this person not do? I mean, this just the Dungeon Pets. I never played Dungeon Lords, but Dungeon Pets alone is a fantastic design. I mean, who puts poop
My
in their
favorite
game?
is Through the Ages of his.
There's a reason I didn't name that one.
Or Bunny Moose Moose.
I'm gonna pass on that one.
All right, so what are we on? 7? Yeah, 7 seems right.
Mm-hmm.
This is someone that's not on your list because he just recently entered my list. Matthew Dunstan.
I know that name.
Yeah, the one you would probably know recently is the Guild of Merchant Explorers.
Oh yeah,
It's a co-design of his. Next Station London is another one of his.
Yeah.
Another one I like. Pioneer Days, which is something that we found a lot of fun with on this channel. And then some other ones such as Voyages, which is this, there's this print and play publishing company. All they make is print and plays, and that was one of his, and that was a pretty popular one. Elysium, that one is a game that we used to have that we culled. That, I don't know, I was a different gamer back then. I wonder if I would like it now, but I don't know. I might try it at a convention someday.
I feel like that game never got enough due. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we played one of his adventure games, The Dungeon, recently. You and I did that digitally.
Yeah.
Or kind of digitally. We did it, what do they call it? Just
over Zoom.
over Zoom, yeah. But yeah, I think he's got a lot of designs, and seemingly it's getting better and better and better. All the Next Station games have been pretty entertaining for me. I've enjoyed playing those on PGA. He seems to do a lot of escape room stuff. Like he has a game called Echoes, which I haven't tried those yet. It's like sound based.
Oh.
Yeah, sound based adventure games, and then also adventure games. Lots of things coming from Matthew Dunstan, and not many people know about him. But the Guild of Merchant Explorers, that one was huge for me. Like as far as one of the topics that we may potentially talk about soon is games that won you over on the first play. And that was definitely one I had that feeling that was just like, I got to play this again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my number 7.
All right. Well, it's too bad Melissa's not here for my number 6. In fact, we might be recording a video all about this designer because this household holds him in high regard. It is.
Yep, that's on my list.
All right. We'll talk about him in a minute.
All right. My next one for number 6 is Alexander Pfister.
On my list. In fact, it's my number 5. So let's talk about it now.
Okay. Sounds good. Go for it.
Great Western Trail, Broom Service, Isle of Skye. He has a bunch of other games too. He's usually a heavy designer. What is that? That Blackout Hong Kong or... Yeah.
Which that one didn't grab me.
That one didn't grab me either.
But I think it was a design issue because they remade it and lightened up the board and all sorts of stuff. Like a graphic design issue.
Oh.
But I played one of his... it's Sky Mines. They remade Mombasa as Sky Mines. I was into that. That was a good game. The first one that grabbed me of his was Port Royal.
Oh, that's his game?
Yeah, that was like a little push your luck game.
Huh.
And normally I'm really bad at push your luck, but there's a lot going on to mitigate that push your luck. So I feel like that one I can play and not destroy myself. But Great Western Trail, that was another experience. It's like the first time you play it, you're like, oh, I got to get into this more.
Yeah.
But Broom Service,
man. I mean, those two games right there. I mean, the Great Western Trail trilogy, honestly, we didn't need it. But I still like all 3 of them. And the original is just as great.
You think it'll stay a trilogy?
That was the intention.
Oh, really?
Was
So I
them
can
to
buy
just
the
make
last one and be done and not have to worry about more coming out?
You have the first two already?
No. But I don't need. I mean, I haven't played the last one. But when we played the second one, I was like, I don't need the first one. I don't think it did. I don't think it. I don't know. Maybe it's like an intro version of it or something.
So the trilogy is Great Western Trail, and then Great Western Trail, one of them's like New Zealand, and one of them is, I don't know, some other country.
Argentina. You and I played Argentina.
Okay, and I have New Zealand at home, and then I have the original first printing of Great Western Trail. But the trilogy, the first box is regular Great Western Trail.
Second edition at this point.
It's the second edition of it, and they made some updates to it. But it is mostly, if you have Great Western Trail, it's pretty similar. And then the other two were just so we have 3 matching boxes, I think. But yeah.
Are you ever going to get Argentina?
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't need to get the other two.
No, probably not if you don't feel it.
I haven't played New Zealand.
New Zealand's got sheep and boating because New Zealand's mostly an island country. So you're boating around to different islands.
Yeah, I did pick up. There are some Pfister games I have because I know I like the designer, but I haven't played them yet. Boone Lake and Maracaibo.
I need to play those both.
Yep, I have them. I played the Maracaibo on BGA, I think a couple times, and it feels like Great Western Trail in the water, but there's other things going on. Like you're going around a locked-in board, just like.
But Isle of Skye, man. I mean, that's a great game. I love a tile layer, tile placement, and it comes up with that same scoring mechanism that we have in cartographers. Now we're going to score A and B. Next time we're going to score B and C. Next time we're going to score C and D. So you're having to shift your focus and plan ahead. It's a great little mechanism. And then, I could not have left Alexander off my list.
So that was your number 5.
It
so
was.
On to my number 5 is a game we brought up recently because we're doing this BD board game Wordle. So bgdle.com. If you want to do board game Wordle, it's pretty challenging at times. But this is Matthias Kramer who came up because Watergate was the game of that day. It's mostly caught my attention, not just because of Watergate, because I really do like that game, but also Rococo.
Yes.
Yeah, those two stand out a lot. This is someone who I haven't really chased down his games very much, but I see a lot of people have a lot of love for a lot of his games, like Glenmore. I see come up in conversation. I see Lancaster come up in Craftwagon, but they just haven't crossed my path. But knowing what he can put out with Watergate and Rococo, I am definitely going to be looking out for any of his games coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he doesn't have he's not like a Cult of the New Person. So, but his latest, it looks like it's Weimar, The Fight for Democracy, has an 8.3. It's exactly 4 players, which is a unique feature. So, maybe that'll cross my list or across my table one day. So that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
It's finally time for someone who's not a man. This designer's name is Nikki Valens. Are they on your list?
They are not.
Okay. Nikki Valens has had their hands in a bunch of designs. They were working for Fantasy Flight Game during the era of Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition, Eldritch Horror, Legacy of Dragonholt. They also designed Quirky Circuits, Artisans of Splendent Vale. I mean, frankly, I probably could have moved Nikki up a little higher. I mean, Mansions is
great.
Good. So good.
But I don't think they have anything on that list that I've played other than Mansions.
Arkham Horror 3rd Edition.
Yeah, I played
Eldritch Horror.
Eldritch? I called that game.
You played it, though.
I called it.
Cool. Well, anyways, you definitely need to check out Legacy of Dragonholt.
I do have that.
Quirky Circuits is cute, too. It's really good for a convention because, It's kind of a family weight game, but it's a little cute little game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I haven't actually played Artisans of Splendid Vale yet. I have it at home, and my group is assembled. It's just we're trying to finish a few other big campaign games first.
Right.
We are very excited to play it because each character gets their own literal book. A literal book.
Gonna read a book?
It's your book. It's your story. And when things happen in the game, you look in your book and see what happens with your character. And they're all it's super, super, super queer friendly. Of course, Nikki is a queer person as well. And it's like some of the characters are like they, thems and all kinds of other different pronouns and cool stuff. And as a queer person, I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Representation.
like exactly that.
Yep. It's
So
hard to
Nikki
find
is
in this.
my number 4.
Yeah. All right.
Oh man, this top 3 is some heavy hitters in here. Ooh.
So we can bring
but
up.
you go to your number 4, yeah.
So we can bring up Paul Denon. That's my number 4.
Clank.
Clank in Space. I really like Dune
Clank,
and
clank.
Dune Imperium. Dune Imperium, Dune Uprising. I prefer Dune Uprising lately, but yeah, I mean those are hits, heavy hits too.
People love them.
Yeah. Outside of that, not a lot going on. Wild Tiled West, that has a 7.7. And then what?
Clanks, all the clanks.
Clanks.
So many different clanks.
So, I mean, if you're going for percentage of hits, I'd say you're at 100%. I mean, I haven't played Wild Tiled West, but the people have at 7.7. So when all of your games probably average high 7 or lower 8s, you're in good shape. You don't want to tarnish that by putting out too much. So there you go. Paul Denon. That's my number 4.
Okay. And Paul was on my list as well, I think at number...
Honorable mention.
Yes, an honorable mention. You got it.
Yep.
All right, so should I move on to number 3 then?
Let's do it.
My number 3 is Isaac Childress. One of the people on my list I've actually met.
There you go.
I'm going to guess he's not on your list.
He's not.
But he's the designer of Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, and also he had some involvement in Return to Dark Tower. I'm not sure how much, but his name is on there. And those are 3 games that I absolutely love. So how could I not say that I love? I mean, I played Gloomhaven 44 times at the table and probably 200 more times on the computer on the app. And we've got 66 games so far of Frosthaven. We intend to finish it. And then we have a whole nother copy of Frosthaven. I already backed Gloomhaven 2nd edition. I mean, I'm a big fanboy of this person's work, obviously.
Could say.
And I'll show Return to Dark Tower to anybody that'll look at it. That game was one of those ones that was an instant play. I mean, once I played it one time, it was an instant buy.
Never played it.
I didn't just instant buy it. I bought everything they make for it.
It's like me with Obsession. Like, as soon as I played it, I'm like, oh, I'm buying everything.
We don't need to make that list. He gave it all away.
Oh, it's okay. We could talk about it. It's actually one of our the topics we have written down. All right, so let's move on to my number 3, which was your number 9 or 8, Phil Walker Harding.
Yes.
So Phil Walker Harding kind of falls into the same category as Steve Finn for me, as games that I can just introduce to anybody. And games like Sushi Go, Gizmos. Which one?
Gizmos.
Oh, you did say Gizmos.
Yeah, Imhotep, Baron Park.
Silver and Gold is one of my favorites of his.
Super Mega Lucky Box.
That one is fading on me.
Oh,
It's getting to be more samey.
okay.
At first I said it was a killer of another game of his. I don't remember which one. But now I'm like, it's fine. It's settled into it's fine.
It has a place. It's like an opener for a game night or something.
Yeah. Archaeology, though, is a game I've mentioned before.
You love that game.
I think it's pretty good. My Shelfie is a really fun
I
one.
haven't played that.
It's right there somewhere.
Let's play it after we finish recording
Yeah,
this.
it's actually right behind you again. It's right next to Leaf. And then there's Summer Camp. If you need a new introduction to deck builders, I think that's a good one. Gingerbread House, I thought would go away when he made Llama Land, because very similar. But then I played both back to back. I was like, I think there's a place for both of these games. Cities, though, that's the latest one that he's come out with Seafin, and I think that game is really good.
I don't know.
It's really fun.
I haven't even heard of it.
It was released this year.
Okay.
So yeah, that one was high on my radar.
He also designed Cloud City or something like that?
Cloud City, yeah, that one I only played on BGA, and it seemed fine. I've
played it both.
I think it'd be cool in person because I think it has a 3D element to it.
It does, yeah.
Which would be fun. But yeah, Phil Walker Harding, praise be.
All right, well, I don't need to look at my phone to know who my number 2 is. It's Rob Davio.
Robbie, as I call him, because we're buddies. I don't know.
Another person that I've actually met from my list. He is the person, most people consider him to be the person responsible for like the legacy game craze. His name is on a ton of the first legacy games, such as Risk Legacy, Pandemic Legacy, all 3 of them. He also is the designer of Betrayal at the House on the Hill, which is one of my entry games into the hobby, and of course Betrayal Legacy.
Yep.
He is also on Return to Dark Tower because that's his company, Restoration Games.
Yeah, that's true.
Or at least he's involved with that company. I'm not quite sure of the details. Don't
I'm sure
ask me.
he gets hands-on quite often.
Yeah.
Seafall, which is a game you really love.
Of course.
Which they're going to restore that in Restoration Games.
Maybe in 50 years. I actually wrote Seafall down on here to mention. I don't like Seafall, but that's okay. Not everyone can make constant hits all the time, and all the rest are hits, so
yeah.
How could I not include him as number 2?
My number 2 is Stefan Feld, which was on your list earlier.
Hey,
Castles of Burgundy. I mean, both of our entry to board game type of German Euro game.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember when we first pulled that out, you were like, it's very German. Which I guess is still true.
Yeah, it's a Euro game.
Yeah, Trajan, Bruges, Bonfire was a recent one that I really enjoy of his. Marrakesh is one I really, really like that we played at the convention last year at Dice Tower Con. Dice Tower East, they call it now. Amerigo is still high up on my list. Delphi, Oracle of Delphi. Some reason his name is on like La Granja. I guess he did some like...
I think that was for the reprint.
Yeah, so probably
because he's not. I don't think he's on the first version. He's on the deluxe one for some reason, but I'm not sure.
Usually, like I know with Inca and Marcus Brand, they designed some like Orleans. They did expansions for it.
Oh, okay.
So that, they'll get their hands in on other stuff.
Well, that's one of the things Stefan loves to do is include some expansions in the box. When you first buy it, it'll have. This is very German, some modules that you can choose to add in or not. And in most of his more recent ones, he's been just including them straight in the box, already there, so you don't have to go buy another product.
Yeah, I haven't been a fan of his reprints. Like, if I had just started gaming, I would be. But, you don't have to get them if you don't want to get them.
Man, they look so much better. Yeah. And as someone who didn't have those games before, I've been buying them.
That's the thing.
Because I don't already have a copy of Bruges. So yeah, I'll take Hamburg. And it has all the expansions in the box. Yeah, I'll take that. Oh yeah, you fixed some of the little wonky rules issues too? Yeah, I'll take that. I'll absolutely take that.
Yeah, I mean, let that be for those people. And I still have my copy of Bruges and it'll play fine, I think.
I don't know if I can go back and play Bruges now that I've had better. I can pick whatever color card I want.
Any color card you want?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
In Bruges, you're limited to just what's on top of the 2 stacks.
Oh, they changed the rules.
That's what I was just telling you.
I didn't know they changed the rules fully.
Not fully. They fixed some of the small rules.
I don't think that needed to be fixed.
That's because you haven't played it the other way.
You shouldn't just get to have anything you want.
It's still a Stefan Feld game. You're still going to deal with the famine and the fire and the uprising and all that stuff. You still have to deal with all those things. Now you can choose what color you want. I always just end up taking one of each.
Anyway, that's Stefan Feld, my number 2.
Okay, number 1. It's time. I don't think anybody expected anything different from me. If you've watched this channel with any significance, this is someone I have not yet met, but I hope to one day meet them, just so I can say, Ryan Lockett, great job. I actually used to be a collector of his games. If you don't know him, he designed Sleeping Gods, Above and Below, Near and Far. So many games. Rome.
Yeah, the list is long. He runs Red Raven Games. I follow him on TikTok. He just joined that.
Yeah, he's a one-man shop, basically. He does the graphic design, the art, the actual game design, and it's his company. So he does it all, basically. Sometimes other people are involved.
I think his wife gets involved a lot.
And some other folks as well who also have Lockett as a last name. I'm not sure who they are to him. But yeah, it's a family affair, and they seem like good folks. But the games are great. And when I did my top 10 games in 2021, Sleeping Gods was at the top of the list because I just really loved that game. It's great.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I just I'm having to restart my collection of his games
because I moved away.
So yeah, so I had to restart, but I'm getting there. I know there's a new Above and Below coming out soon. Oh, this is news to you? Well, I follow him on TikTok, and he's showed off his new Above and Below.
A reprint or something?
No, it's a brand new game, standalone game.
Oh, why is it a new Above and Below? Why
Above
do you
and
call
Below,
it that?
kind of like Sleeping Gods, Distant Skies. This is Above and Below something something.
I'll
there
buy
you
it.
Get in line.
I had a problem for a while, which was that I was trying to collect all his games, and
Right.
I just would buy them no matter what.
Sure.
And put them on my shelf. 8-Minute Empire Legends is an example, or Rome or whatever. And now I've realized I don't need to do that. I don't need to collect them all. I just need to play them, and then the ones that I like, I can have a copy of. I don't need to just have games sitting on my shelf that never get played just because I like this guy's designs. That doesn't mean I want them all.
Melissa does that with Stefan Feld.
I know, and I don't agree with that. I mean, I understand that she's welcome to do it, but I'm not a board game collector. I'm a board game player. And some people are both. Some people do one or the other more. I like to play games more than collect them. And I usually rely on my friends to have much bigger collections than I do.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Stefan Feld's back there, and a lot of other people's who I want to mention before I get into my number 1. Like, I'm really surprised that someone like Eric Lang didn't make my list. He's not my number 1.
You do love his designs. A lot of them.
I have, but I really haven't bought any of his stuff in like 5 years or more. Rising Sun was like the last one.
Does that negate the fact that you like his past designs, like Blood Rage, Rising Sun, The Godfather, Quarriors?
I do. I mean, I like a lot of people's designs though.
Okay.
So I mean, he kind of falls into that camp. But yeah, Rising Sun and Blood Rage are really high on our list. But we've played so many of his other ones that kind of diminished that feeling of as a favorite designer. I don't know. We haven't done a favorite designer list on here before that I can think of. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. I love their designs, but he's going into that. If this were a tier list, it'd be like a B or C area for me.
Still good.
Still
and
very
we've met
good.
Eric, and he's really nice.
Oh yeah, meet him quite often actually.
Yeah. I've met him more than anyone else on any of these lists.
Yeah, there's a lot of photo evidence.
So who is your number 1 then?
My number 1, it's almost a cheat because it's 2 names. But I mean, Inca and Marcus Brand were 2 names as well. But I mostly put one name at the top, Shem Phillips. Often designs with S.J. McDonald. But Shem Phillips, his publishing company is Garfield Games. Creator of Paladins of the West Kingdom, Architects of the West Kingdom, South Tigris Games. He has all these directional games like North Sea. Hasn't announced what East will be yet, but he's at that point where I am starting to be like, oh, he's got a game coming out. I just got to buy it.
Insta-buy.
Insta-buy games. Yeah. So they've all been very, very good games. I don't know, just scratch an itch for me. A very similar itch that Stefan Feld scratches for me. So it falls into the Euro category. So if you're looking for heavy themes, they're not really there, but they're really fun to play, really scratch the brain in a good way. I've never been a solo game player, but he's released this game called Legacy of You. That's a solo game only. I'm like, should I try this solo game out? It has an 8.2 on BGG. I don't know.
Solo players are a whole different breed of folks in the board gaming industry. They're their whole other, a lot of them, that's all they do. And
I just can't get into it. I need to defeat someone. Well, I guess you could defeat the game, but no, it's really just sitting in a room quietly doing your thing. You know, I have ringing in my ears, so it's like super loud anywhere I go. So I need commotion. I need activity. Maybe that's why I don't play solo games. But anyway, yeah, Shem Phillips, SJ McDonald's my number one. And I was seeing if Melissa had sent in her list. She didn't, but maybe I'll edit it in at this point. Oh, Melissa just sent in her top 10. We'll just read that off really quick. Number 10, Jamie Stegmaier. Oh, she also put her favorite game on each one, Charterstone. Oh. Well, she put Forever Queen. I had to interpret what that was.
Of course.
But that's another one. When I mentioned Eric Lang earlier, it's like, yeah, Jamie, that's our first mention of him.
He was on my short list.
Okay. Number 9, Rosenberg. Uwe Rosenberg.
Neither of us mentioned him.
No, Patchwork. She put as her favorite there. Okay. Alan R. Moon.
Oh.
I know. These are worthy.
That's a Ticket to Ride designer?
Ticket to Ride, yeah.
Okay.
Randy Flynn, kind of a newer designer, Cascadia Roll and Write. Yes. Tabriz, which is coming out soon. But that's it. Literally it.
Yeah.
For now. Right, Randy? Number 6, Elizabeth Hargrave with Wingspan.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's the only game of hers I've played. Otherwise, I would have included her.
I would like to try, I think it's Undergrove. I would like to try that at the table. I tried it on BGA. It didn't grab me. But I'm like, there's a game here. I just got to see more of it in person. But I did play Mariposas, and that one did not grab me.
And I see you have Tussie Mussy over there.
We do. We picked that up. That was like, Melissa just randomly picked that up at some store because she liked the little card holder thing.
Okay.
Number 5, Phil Walker Harding, Silver and Gold.
Okay.
It's a great one. Number 4, Shem Phillips. But not for the reason you'd think. Her favorite game is Noctiluca.
Oh.
Which is a game that I think it was before Garfield Games existed. He made this game with another company.
I've played it, but I don't remember anything about
it's from Z-Man Games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bunch of dice on a table. Number 3, Steve Finn. It looks like she says, everything they do, I'm willing to play at least once. Okay, so these are the top 3 she says for that. Steve Finn. Number 2, Eric Lang.
Of course.
Godfather is one of her favorite games.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And number 1, Stefan Feld.
I think we could have predicted that.
I think we could have.
Great list, Melissa. Good job.
Good job, Melissa. Fantastic list.
Good list.
Good list, Melissa.
Great job.
Yeah. But that's it for our list. So until next time, the box is closed.
Bye.